I've been contemplating whether to review this game or not, but man, it has to be done. This is going to be the best and most in-depth review of this game you're going to hear. Yup, right off the bat, you can tell that I'm satisfied. Let's get into it. To make this as spoiler-free as possible, Tanner, the protagonist, is chasing an escaped big-time convict, Jericho, and is then involved in a crash which leaves him in a coma. Tanner does not realise he's in a coma until he gradually sees that things are just too weird. This is where the story takes off. Listen to this. The story mostly takes place in his head. Tanner, even though he's in a coma, is still partially conscious, and because he is subconscious, he can hear the TV in his hospital room. What he hears from the TV also has an effect on the story, which is made clear when he wakes up from the coma. To me, the story was great. It was actually relevant, unlike other racing games with stories. Take for instance, Need for Speed The Run. But that's right, 95% of the game occurs all in his head. Because the game takes place in his head, it allows the developers to do anything in his head. This leads on to my next topic. If there's anything you should know about this game, it's the feature called Shift. Shifting allows you to look at the city and get into any vehicle you see, similar to the way the agent shift in the Matrix. At first, when the game was revealed, I was quite skeptical about this feature and disappointed in not being able to get out of the car like in previous driver games. Some called it a gimmick and some called it garbage, including me myself. However, after getting used to it and playing with the feature for a while, it becomes great fun and truly awards those who think creatively. The shift feature is used widely throughout the game and the campaign makes sure of that. The missions are fun, but then later become repetitive and boring. A few of my favourite mission types where shift is used is return the stolen cars and defuse the bomb missions. A particular mission type I hate is protect the van missions. They are tedious and flat out annoying. Occasionally, you will see fancy cars that you cannot resist. In a different open world game, you would have to catch up to the car, block it and then try to steal it. In this game, you can quickly get into the special car by simply using the shift feature, seamless and smooth transitions from car to car. Moreover, as you progress through the game, the shift feature becomes more important and intuitive. Moving from car to car becomes second nature and no hassle. There are other missions where the shift feature is not necessary. Scare the driving instructor, races and escape the cops, to name a few. But there should have been more missions like these, but with also more variety too. On the other hand, the game throws a ton of side missions, challenges and dares on the huge map just in case you need a break from the story. When it comes to side missions, most of the time you use whatever car you want to. It's also your choice on where to complete the side mission. Depending on what car you have and where in the city you are, the side mission can be anything from a piece of cake to a hellish nightmare. The game runs smoothly at 60 frames per second, allowing you to enjoy and feel every maneuver and stunt you pull off. That's right, 60 frames per second, even with so many pedestrians and cars flowing through the city. The density of traffic in this game is really impressive. Cars handle and sound how you expect them to. Classical cars are either slow as fuck or a nightmare to handle, or even both. We can also compare modern cars. Compare the VW Beetle to the beastly Dodge Viper and the difference is clear. The Beetle is hard to drift in and gives loads of understeer, whereas the Viper is easy to drift but also screams and shouts at you when you make it go sideways. The game has handling aspects of realism but still remains an arcade game overall. You can't do burnouts on front wheel drive cars. You will spin your car out if you don't give it enough counter steer. Your car will struggle to climb steep hills if you don't give it enough speed, and J-turns and 180s are somewhat impressive. Those are a few realistic aspects of handling, but the game remains arcade because of exaggerated handling. None of the cars have ABS, and you might as well call drifting sliding. The game also supports steering wheels and should definitely be tried out. I must also mention the AI in this game are pretty challenging. There is no difficulty setting, so you better prepare yourself with some cheeky AI. If you're chasing someone, they pull off unpredictable maneuvers and tricky stunts to try to lose you. On the other hand, if you're being chased by the police or opponents, they will stick to you like glue, try to ram you, box you in or pit you. Driver games have always been known to have intelligent and cunning AI. Only problem is, the rubber band AI in this game is horrible. It's frustrating to lose the police and then watch them slingshot right back onto your tail again. I've also noticed there's a lot of influence on this game. Positive influence. The camera angle is very much like Gran Turismo's. The handling sometimes feels like a playing Burnout. The game looks like Midnight Club Los Angeles. The game's police AI act very much like the ones from Need for Speed. The reward system is also similar to Need for Speed games. Finally, some missions feel like they're from the Transporter, and overall, the game has that refreshing mindfucked feeling like Inception did. Did I mention the rivalry between Jericho and Tanner is funny as hell? It's just like the Joker's and the Batman's relationship, or the lack thereof.
Might just kill each other right now.
You son of a bitch! That's more like it!
Whatever you're gonna do, though, better do it quick. Smell of death's in the air, Tanner!
Wake up! Oh, wake up! Wake up! God damn it! God damn it! Wake up!
All of that influence isn't really about gameplay, it's about presentation, which is my next point. The game is set in San Francisco, as you should know by now, but it also has a classical 70s feeling to it, even though the game is set in modern day times. The presentation sometimes feels like you're watching a TV show, and the cutscenes are visually stunning, although some of them are pointless. The music is a kind of jazzy 70s funk selection, which does not appeal to me. I turned it off. The only music I enjoyed in this game is the game's theme tune. Moving on, the city is stunning and lively and has a decent variety in environments. The city is diverse and it captures the iconic feeling of San Francisco's hilly streets. The map is huge and becomes even bigger as you unlock more parts of it. The city is a playground for your car with all sorts of terrain, like industrial areas, parks, hills, dusty dirt roads, city plazas, motorways, all highways and alleyways. Overall, it looks great, but this is San Francisco, well known for its trams and trolleys that flow through the city. I mean, I can see the tracks on the floor, but no tram or trolley, or whatever you call it in America. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas did it, LA Noire did it, so you could have done it too, Ubisoft. All I'm saying is, a city needs to be lively, and making the games feel more immersed in a specific city will help greatly. Anyways, pedestrians flood the streets in a positive way. You often see them crossing the road too, but you cannot run them over because of the age rating. The pedestrians literally repel your car and act funny if you are in their way. There are also motorists everywhere. If you get in their way, they will signal you with anger and simply reverse and continue driving. The city feels like an actual city because you will often see a group of police chasing someone else. You then have the choice to shift into the getaway vehicle, into one of the police cars, or ignore the whole chase altogether. For the first time ever in a driver game, the cars are actual real licensed cars, and Ubisoft Reflections have done great. The car selection is amazing. You will find hot hatchbacks and coupes, exotic European sports cars, awesome Japanese tuners, rare rally cars, big SUVs, gorgeous classics and serious American muscle. It's exhilarating to see smoke pouring out of the wheel arches of some of your favourite cars. This game has the DeLorean from Back to the Future and James Bond's DB5, just to name a few. How epic. Honestly, the variety of cars is overwhelming. Cars are detailed from wheels to body to interior. The car models are spot on and all of them have a cockpit view which shows accurate interiors. The speedometer and the tachometer correspond in real time to how you are driving the vehicle. Each car is unique and looks great in sunny San Francisco. Speaking of sun, it would have been great if the game had a day and night cycle. Find a nice car you like? Cool. Drive it a lot? That's also cool. But I hope it doesn't become your favourite car though, because in this game, cars have a tendency to disappear. What I am trying to say is that particular cars will no longer spawn. It might be a spawning problem, or it might be intentional to change things up and force you to drive different cars. I don't know if it's the developers who did this intentionally or if it's just one big problem. I'm guessing it's intentional, but it's also annoying not being able to find your usual ride or having to go all the way to the garage to get it. Then again, it has a positive outcome. It encourages you to use cars you don't give a damn about. Next thing you know, you start to like the car you disliked a couple seconds ago. For example, this McLaren, never liked it. Design is a bit boring, model name is whack, but it handles great and is insanely fast. Crash a car and it looks realistic. Your speed is reduced drastically, smoke builds up, glass flies everywhere, and there's debris from your car at the scene. Total your car and you can see smoke from the engine, wheels fall off, and panels and bumpers destroyed or lost. The damage system works well. On lighter, faster cars, like the McLaren MP412C, the car will not last long if you don't drive carefully, whereas heavier, slower vehicles like the Range Rover can take plenty of knocks and bumps. The graphics are actually impressive. No, really, you should see the PC version for yourself. The PC version also supports crazy resolutions, making the game look even better. Reflections and light bounce off your car, and Tanner's driving animations are almost flawless. Regardless of the camera, Tanner will still move, turning left, right, using the handbrake, gearbox, reversing, crashing, or beeping the horn. It all seems fluent apart from when you do too much of these actions at the same time. If there's anything that is disappointing about the visuals, it's gotta be the sense of speed. The sense of speed in this game is pretty poor. Now, we move on to sound. The sound is alright, but could be better. Drive your car through a tunnel or a tight alleyway and you can hear the crying engine bounce off the walls with a slight reverb. Car engines are once again unique and pretty accurate, but could also be better. Climb up a curb and you will hear it. Drive on a sidewalk and you can hear the tyres reacting to the patterns on the floor. Drive in dust or grass and you can hear stones or dirt getting kicked around. But let's talk about the voices, shall we? Throughout the game, Tanner and or his passenger will say a phrase every time you get into a car, drift, jump, drive on the sidewalk, tag police, get busted, crash or wreck your vehicle. The developers have used this to make you feel more immersed. Tanner or the passenger can make pretty funny one-liners or even a whole conversation. The passenger conversations aren't just extras though, it actually plays a role on the story as Tanner starts to gain consciousness and the city becomes more aware about the hunt for Jericho. Unfortunately, the voice acting is terrible. Only Tanner, Jones and Jericho sound okay. Included in the game is a movie editor, which allows you to edit short clips in-game and upload them. The editor is nothing special and sometimes feels like you don't get to record enough. Another big problem is that you have to quit your game to go to the editor. For example, if you are on a mission and you did a crazy stunt or drift that you would like to edit or at least save, you would have to quit your current mission to edit or save. If you don't, there's a high chance that you will overwrite the desired footage. What I'm trying to say is that the game only records everything you do in about a 2-minute time frame. In other words, if you want to save footage and show off your driving skills, you'll be better off using a capture card or screen capture software. The multiplayer, split screen or online is fun, diverse and robust. The shift feature can still be used, but it has to be said, the shift feature is a double-edged sword in multiplayer. There's good game modes like tag, where you have to keep the tag for as long as possible. But then there are races where people abuse shift by changing into cars far in front or even sabotaging the race and sending cars in your direction. The good thing is, there are also modes where shift is disabled. Overall, the multiplayer can be fun, but it depends on who you're playing with. In conclusion, if you like arcade games, love cars and possibly even have a thing for the 70s, this is the game for you. As I said, the shift feature has to be the biggest thing about this game. At first, it may seem like a gimmick, but after a while, you realise it's a one-of-a-kind game mechanic and an experience which you will not get anywhere else. Martin Edmondson, you and your team have made a great game and I apologise for doubting. So to my viewers, this game is going to be the love or hate it type, but if you're creative and open-minded, you will definitely love it. If you're looking for a fun driving game that isn't a simulator and also has an enjoyable but not too serious story, look no further. I award Driver San Francisco a score of 9.3. Driver San Francisco is great pick up and play fun with an enjoyable story, particularly towards the end. The game does what it's supposed to do and very well. I also award this game Driving Game of the Year 2011 and is certainly worth checking out. The only way this game could be better is with more exciting missions and an improved story. Ubisoft Reflections, please sign me up for the next game. Peace out.